I am very confident that we are now in the very last days of Bitcoin accumulation, at least at affordable levels. Charlie Shrem famously tweeted in May of 2018 that we would never see Bitcoin below $10,000 again, but unfortunately for Charlie and for us, that proved to just be a meme. Bitcoin would fall as low as $3,100 later that year. However, we are now approaching a time when a sub $10,000 Bitcoin will only be a fantasy. People made fun of Bitcoin investors in 2016 for believing that Bitcoin could even eclipse $1,000. The point here is that what starts out as mockery can easily change to bitterness and jealousy for non-believers. The benchmark numbers that we look forward to one day in the future will only one day be nothing but history. Today, I can confidently tell you that Bitcoin is going to $100,000 minimum, most likely within the next 500 days or so. Are you ready for that? Or are you just going to mock me? Because we've seen that story before and it doesn't work out great for those who do not believe in Bitcoin. Today, we're going to be taking a look at why I believe so strongly that Bitcoin is going to $100,000 as we revisit the past to predict the future. Let's get it. Hello and welcome to BitBoy Crypto, your one-stop shop for all things related to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I make videos on this channel almost every single day. If you like what you hear or you see, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell to turn on notifications. And if you want to take the conversation even further, make sure that you join my Telegram group, the Bit Squad. We would love to see you there and to talk with you. If you have any questions, I would love to try to answer them. But today we are going to be talking about Bitcoin going to $100,000 and maybe sooner than you think. At the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why I believe that six figures is the floor for Bitcoin and not the ceiling. But before we get into that, I would like to wish condolences to the Bryant family and all the families affected by the helicopter accident that took the lives of Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna Bryant, and 7 others. Growing up, Kobe was my childhood hero, and I've been greatly affected by this tragedy. I've tried to live my life with what has become affectionately known as the Mamba mentality. A piece of me certainly died on Sunday. We can all hope to leave a lasting impact like the one Kobe has left on this world. The lesson here is to tell people that you love them and treasure every moment that you get to spend with them. Life is too short to hold on to grudges and not tell the people that you love them. Also, live your life with no regrets because you never know which breath will be your last. I received a lot of messages from members of the Bit Squad and would like you guys to know that I appreciate each and every one of them, so thank you for that. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But speaking of no regrets, a lot of people are going to be filled with regret over the next 24 months. Read my lips. Bitcoin is going to hit $100,000. Screenshot that. You don't want to be the person that doubts Bitcoin. History has proven that over and over again. Check out some of the tweets from people who sold Bitcoin too early. @Bloke said, on June 6th of 2011, just sold my 20 euros of Bitcoin for 25.88 euros. This would have been around the time that Bitcoin hit $31 before dropping back to $2. That being said, that 20 euros worth of Bitcoin on that day would be worth about $7,000 today. Then, of course, we have the sad Greg tweet. This is the most famous sad Bitcoin tweet of all. On May 16th of 2011, Greg Schoen said, I wish I would have kept my 1700 BTC at 6 cents instead of selling them at 30 cents now that they're $8. Hashtag Bitcoin. Let me add another hashtag for you, sad Greg. Let's do some quick math on that. So Greg cashed out for about $510 that day for a profit of $408. If he had held on to that Bitcoin at the current price of $9,000, Greg would have $15,300,000 sitting in the bank right now. This is why it's so important to understand what Bitcoin is and what it means for the world. If you simply look at it like some kind of Ponzi scheme to make people rich, then you'll sell it when it goes up out of fear of it collapsing. But Bitcoin is not collapsing, and it did not collapse in 2017, as many people believe. Many have said that 2017 brought a bubble in crypto that popped, and they believe at that time, or they believe still today, that the price is never going back up. Those people could not be further from the truth. The 2017 run-up is not going to be anything compared to the run-up we're going to see over the next 2 years. While Bitcoin did not collapse at the end of 2017 and beyond, the price certainly did drop. That is a fact. But that's where the beauty and the design of Bitcoin comes in. It is designed to drop. It's also designed to go up at different points. The numbers for Bitcoin are baked into its code. By this point, most of you have heard of the halvening. If you haven't, no pun intended, or maybe it was, the halvening is when the production of Bitcoin is cut in half every 4 years. This means that starting later this year, instead of 12.5 Bitcoin rewarded for each block that is mined, only 6.25 Bitcoin will be rewarded to miners for each block that is mined. Simple supply and demand has shown us time and time again across a vast array of assets that when production is cut, demand goes up. Many people point to oil as a great example of this. When oil production slows, your gas is more expensive. So every 4 years, the price of Bitcoin follows a predictable pattern. This is why the Charlie Shrimp tweet from 2018 was quite out of place. There was really nothing to suggest in the history of the price of Bitcoin that any significant move upward was going to happen at that point. It was purely hopium and people not really understanding that the bull market was over. The cycle has been pretty clear. The price of Bitcoin slowly moves up before each halvening. Then it goes wildly parabolic following the halvening, only to return to much lower numbers over the following 2 years. People say things all the time like, no one can predict the price of Bitcoin, which is certainly true to an extent. It's almost impossible to nail down exactly where it will be at any given point. However, we can be confident that Bitcoin is going to follow a similar pattern due to the fact that the principles of supply and demand are built into the design of Bitcoin. And listen, I've certainly been guilty in the past of falling for hopium, just like everyone else, believing that Bitcoin could and would break out of its regular historical pattern. I want Bitcoin to go up. I built the foundation of my life, my income, and my brand on the idea that the price of Bitcoin will go up. And in June of 2019, I believe that we were finally starting the bull run. Only the most bearish traders at that time believed that we were in a massive bull trap, and yet they turned out to be correct as the price dropped from $14,000 all the way back down to the $6,000 range. But the truth is that move was out of the norm. Returning to all-time highs only 18 months after the previous all-time high would have been unprecedented. But we all wanted to believe that it was true. A lot of people now think that was due to the OneCoin or the Plus token Ponzi schemes. However, right now we are approaching a time of legitimate liftoff. The timing is aligning. In a few minutes, we're going to look at a chart that absolutely shows this. In fact, this chart has nailed the price of Bitcoin since its inception. On this channel, though, we mainly focus much more on the fundamentals of Bitcoin. Fundamental analysis relies on everything that does not involve a chart. So before we do look at a chart, let's check out a huge fundamental signal that shows why we are in an even better position for this cycle than we were during the last bull cycle. So for this, I want to show you the Google Trends data for Bitcoin. In my opinion, nothing tells you more about the popularity of something than how many times people search for it on the internet. Now, many people will tell you that Bitcoin is dead. There's no retail interest in Bitcoin, and that people have left by the masses. And certainly there aren't as many people as there were in 2017, but the interest is much higher today than it was in 2016, leading up to the previous halving. According to Google Trends, in fact, it is 5 times higher than 2016. So anyone who tells you that the type of run-up we saw in 2017 is impossible and it won't repeat again, they simply do not understand the reality of the historical price of Bitcoin. The only thing investors need to be worried about when this run begins is how to find the top and avoid losing value in their investment as the price dips back down, because we understand it will happen. Once Bitcoin does rise to $100,000 or more, it will drop, and it will drop again probably to as low as $10,000, who knows, maybe even $5,000. And once again, those who do not understand the historical and traditional cycles of Bitcoin, they'll tell everybody that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. And they'll once again be saying things like the bubble is popped, and all of your friends will be laughing at you because you believe in crypto. Okay, so why am I so confident that Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000 minimum? This is due to what is called the stock to flow chart created by @100trillion on Twitter. This chart has been deadly accurate since the beginning of Bitcoin, and you don't even have to understand TA to make sense of it. Sometimes the price of Bitcoin travels much higher or lower than the prediction model, but it always snaps back to the mean. So what is the stock to flow chart? According to CoinDesk, the stock to flow measures the Bitcoin price using 2 factors: the stock, which is the number of Bitcoins in circulation, and the flow, which is the number of new Bitcoins entering circulation. What is interesting about this chart is that every time the price of Bitcoin runs up, it actually goes much higher than the predicted price before snapping back to the average. The chart shows us really hitting hyperdrive with Bitcoin starting in May of this year, and by next year in May, it shows us hitting $90,000 plus. That's less than 500 days from now. However, traditionally, as I mentioned, the price of Bitcoin soars much higher than anticipated before it snaps back to the average shown on the chart. So while Bitcoin may hit $90,000 by May of 2021, it is much more likely that the price soars higher than 100K, possibly even by the end of this year, but probably the beginning of next year. This chart has never been wrong, and there is no reason to doubt it now. The question is, what are you doing to prepare for this run? Drop your comments below and let me know what you are doing to make sure that you are ready. The feeling in the air right now is much different than it has been over the last couple of years. And I, for one, am very excited for the first time in a long time about where Bitcoin and about where crypto is going. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure you guys smash the like button and hit the subscribe button to become a member of the Bit Squad. And don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified when we have new content. Have a blessed day. BitBoy out.